evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include
the history, a brief history, and maybe what to go.
Work was originally scheduled to resume on the Senior Citizens Housing Complex on Monday, January 6, 1992, after a break for Christmas. When work didn't resume at that time, it was rescheduled to start the following Monday, which was January 13th. However, that date came and went without any work starting. Then I was informed and I read the fax received by the committee stating that work would resume on Monday, January 20th. But today, January 26th, work still hasn't resumed. I hope work does resume on this project in the very near future, but as was said a number of times over this past year, seeing is believing. Parsons Trucking brought in some equipment this past week, and work on the landscaping for the new healthcare facility is underway. RMHA, the Honorable David Gilbert, informed me that it is anticipated that the building will be completed by the summer of 1993. I spoke to Mr. Bernad Benoite, one of the organizers of the ski club, to find out about some of the goals they have set for the club. Mr. Benoite, what kinds of goals do you have set for the ski club?
Well, Dave, this year we have a number of goals set for the club. I think maybe we want to get into recreation and fitness for adults. That's one of our broad areas, I guess. Skills training for kids at the junior high and the senior high level, as well as at the elementary school. We're looking to do some work into offering certain activities, a school program with certain activities like local tours, town tours, possibly biathlon events where you get into some skiing and shooting. Another goal I think that we're trying to promote is to provide opportunities for socialization for young people in Burgeo, and along with socialization, I think leadership opportunities for some older students to provide leadership, I think, for younger students in the areas of training and things like that, and also in, I think, promote student responsibility and doing things like filling out forms for student, to try and get student jobs on the go, dealing with politicians to try and get, facilities and things like that that you need to launch a new sport like cross-country skiing. Another, I think one big area that was, I think, a focus of our club last year in school, and that will be a focus of our club this year, is in the area of student employment. One of the original goals was to try and create additional opportunities, and I think to that effect last year we had 4 students working for 6 weeks creating a trail, and this year we're hoping to continue that program and, if possible, even get in, explore some new directions for development or for job creation. Like, for example, I'd like to see the parks here in Burgeo try and develop some ski trails, or create some kind of work for students in the summer, through their department. So basically, then, job creation. Another goal of this club, one of the broad goals, is a fundraising goal. And with respect to fundraising, that was one area last year as a school club. We ran into some difficulties because of the school board policies. They don't allow any types of gambling, so that excludes ticket sales, bingos, and they have a nutrition policy which sort of excludes bar sales, and a lot of ways where people, clubs traditionally here in Burgeo raise money. We couldn't do that. So I think this year now we changed our structure to a community-based one, and we became affiliated with the Newfoundland and Labrador Cross Country Ski Association, and they have sponsored us for lotteries like bingos. So now we can I think we have a better base now for raising the funds that's necessary to offer, I think, quality experiences in the line cross country skiing for kids. The other last week, or this week rather, we had a bingo, and we raised just about $1,100. That's going to make possible a out-of-town trip this year to Cornerbrook and Stephenville, and I'll have our public relations person, Selena Anderson, give you some details on that at another time, I guess. So basically then, to run down on goals, there's to promote cross-country skiing is for fitness and recreation, to offer school programs to students, to offer programs of skills training for young people, to, I think, provide some kind of forum for adults in Burgeo if they want to organize skiing events. I think that could be locally, or in future maybe even out of town, to provide an opportunity for socializing for students and opportunities for leadership and responsibility, to provide employment, to try and develop trails, and finally, I think, to raise the funds necessary to do those things.
Okay. How many members do you have in your ski club?
I did a check in the high school and elementary school just before Christmas, and there was about 60 students or more in the high school showed an interest in cross-country skiing and becoming members of the club. In the elementary school, there were about 25 or more. So I'd say all told, we're looking at maybe 90 students have expressed an interest. This week when we had bingo, students carried around cards, and there were about 70-odd students involved in that particular event. And to date, we're now signing up members. There's a $5 registration for students 13 and under, and a $7 registration for students 14 and older. And we're currently signing up students now, and I I really can't say how many's there because there's 3 students in the high school and 2 in the elementary school that's signing those students, and I think I'll know more on that come this week, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, so who can the students see if they want to be signed up?
If they want to be signed up, there's 2 junior directors in the elementary school. That's Bernad Benoite and Misty Piercy. And in the high school, there's Brad Sims, Renee Skinner, and Siobhan Iskak. Yes.
Okay, what kind of an executive do you have set up for your club?
In a meeting we had in the parish hall last Thursday, that's Thursday of last week, we elected a president. That was Greg James. We felt, since we're a community-based club, that a president from the general population would be the better way to go. And we have a vice president, that's myself. We have a secretary, Renee Skinner, and a treasurer, Siobhan Iskak. Those people were elected at the Thursday meeting, the general meeting we call, when we, I guess, essentially formed the Burgeo Ski Club. Since that time, we have filled some executive positions, and those are filled by students in the high school. At that level, we have a bunch of directors. The areas we have directors in are fundraising. Cherise Cole is in charge of that. Recreation, Peggy Joy Warren is working at that now. Peggy Joy and Cherise tend to work together with the fundraising and recreation this year. And for public relations, we have Selena Henderson. We will be needing people to fill the positions of directors in trails, tours, and training. We don't have those people yet. I'm looking here for some of the better skiers, because 3 of those areas require that people basically have well-developed skiing skills themselves. Not necessarily training, but probably like myself, just from experience over the years. And I do have a number of students in mind for that who have shown interest, and I think we'll have those shortly. We have a meeting, a planning meeting of the executive, the first major planning meeting coming up Monday night this week, and we'll be putting together sort of all the ideas that we'll be working at this year, this upcoming season, if we get snow. I hope we do. We have a director of special projects. That would be a person who would be looking at, things that, I guess, needs that arise from time to time that would have to be looked after, and it would be projects that would start and finish, not the sort of ongoing ones like tours and trails and things like that. That person is Becky Clothier. We have 2 people over in the elementary school, 2 directors. Those are junior directors, Bernad Benoite and Misty Piercy. And those people, what they generally do would be looking after things like ski rentals, announcements that have to be made, collections from time to time, like when we ran our bingo, they were the contact people. Basically, take ideas from elementary school students that we could use sort of for when we plan our socials. So 2 junior directors. And we have 1 person that will be in charge of adult affairs. This is a community-based ski club, and right now there's not a lot happening with regard to the adult population in Burgeo, but the way I see it, the club offers, I think, an avenue for, skiers in general in Burgeo who would, like to organize local tours or get involved with working with students or any other aspect of it, I guess, of skiing. I guess, attending maybe clinics or training sessions. I think the ski club offers an opportunity for anyone to get involved. Primarily, we're interested right now in providing programs for students at the high school and elementary school. And I must say, to that effect, I've talked to Mr. Myers, the principal of the school, and Mr. plain marks who, you can deal with the board members through. And those people have been very, cooperative in letting us use like schoolrooms and I guess the equipment, skis they have there, and the boss. They've been very cooperative in us trying to make those arrangements, to make ski events possible through the school board aspect. Right? That's where in our school programs. So I guess one other person we have there is the equipment manager. We don't have a lot of equipment yet, but I expect as this club grows, there'll be different forms of equipment that we will be using, I guess, but the future will bring those, I guess. Eh? So all in all, we have, an executive of about 13 or 14 members. Our treasurer is Siobhan Iscock and secretary Renee Skinner. We have 2 advisors. There's a junior advisor, that's Mr. Milt Thatcher over in the elementary school, and myself and Mr. Lou Thatcher are senior advisors in the high school, and our roles would be to work with any of the, and all, I guess, of the directors of the club as they go about, the week-to-week, I guess, task of, completing all the work involved in attaining the goals of this club. So we're sort of available for tours, training, any I suppose, advice that we can give or assistance. We will be doing so when called upon by any of the various directors.
Okay, is there any age limits to your club?
The age limits range from age 7 up to adults, I guess, as old as you want to get. Those age limits are the same as they have in the Newfoundland Labrador Provincial Association. For example, in competitions, when they run them, they have ages where they would run, say, for 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and so on. So we've included the same ages. To date, I have only contacted the grade 4 students and up, but we will be starting, or we're certainly hopeful that we will be getting programs on the go for probably students in grades 2 and 3 to give them basic skills programs. The Jackrabbit programs is a very common one offered in schools across Newfoundland and Canada. I have manuals and materials on that. I have things there for instructional schedules and all kinds of technical literature that I'll be passing on to, I guess, the directors of training to try and offer programs to those young people throughout the year.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think, not at this time. I believe my main purpose here today was to try and inform the public of some of the things that might have been happening, in the ski club that we have on the go. I think make it known that there is one, and that there is an organizational structure, and we've been sort of working at this now for ever since Christmas, trying to get things in place for the upcoming season. And I think we're just about ready to go. We have our administration in place. We have our sort of duties and responsibilities now outlined, and we have lots of work, I think, for everybody to start digging into. And I expect that'll come after the planning meeting on Monday night when we let everything out. Now, I think there's one person I think I might like to mention at this point. I think the person that was maybe the inspiration behind all of this, and that's Mr. Cecil Warren, who, along with myself last year, got together and sat down in the planning meeting and, I guess, put together the initial concept of a cross-country ski club. And I think the recognition due Mr. Warren, I think appreciation should be made at this point for, I think, his inspiration in this whole thing. I've done a lot of work behind the scene, but I'm just building on concepts provided by him in the first place.
Okay, Mr. Jan, thanks for talking to us, and we hope you'll keep us posted.
Okay, Dave, thank you for letting me do this interview.
The Department of Works, Services and Transportation is responsible for the winter maintenance of provincial highways. There are close to 8,500 kilometers of paved roads and gravel roads in Newfoundland, salt, sand, grade, plow, etc.
You just almost stops it, like, you know, you don't just go over it.
Yeah, just slow, yeah.
Just always right there.
Yeah, sucks it down. Continuous, this is miles on miles and miles, you know?
It's like, just going right to the pavement.
Everybody will see how bad the road will be.
Well, I'm going to tell you, sir, unbelievable that any kind of a government that represents the people could subject them to this kind of road condition when they're trying to keep the economy of their town going and provide jobs.
The scenes you just saw are not the road conditions today. They were taped for BBS on March 22, 1987 by Mr. Lloyd Waters, Mr. Clyde Begg, and Mr. Clyde Strickland. I guess that to all the skiers and snowmobilers, the snow that we received on Saturday was a welcome sight. We have not had much of a winter thus far. We have had some frosty weather, but not much in the way of snow. This is the way things looked around our community in early January of last year. As you can see, it's quite a difference from this year. This year it looks a lot more like spring than it does winter right now. Although we did receive some snow yesterday, there are still more patches of rocks and grass lying around than there are snow. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Mother Nature has in store for us in February. We have another full lineup of playbacks for next week. Tune in to Channel 10 for the playback list as well as their dates and times. Community events. The Ski Club Bingo held on Wednesday, January 22nd was won by Miss Jessie Young. The Ski Club thanks everyone who supported them. The Hockey Moms will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday, January 29th at 7 p.m. The minor hockey players will be going door to door selling cards. Please support the Hockey Moms and you could win $300 in the process. But remember, if you don't play, you can't win. The Bernads will be having a card game on Wednesday, January 29th at 8 p.m. at the Fire Hall. The cost of the card game is $2. Door prize and card prizes. Lunch will also be served. Please come along, bring a friend, and help support your local fire department. Dog owners are reminded that the 1992 dog tags are available at the town office. The cost of these tags is males and spaded females $5, unspaded females $25. The pledge sheets for the Lions annual snowmobile trip are available at the town hall. Remember, the sooner you pick up your pledge sheet, the more pledges you can get. Museum committee members are reminded of the meeting on Tuesday, January 28th at 8 p.m. at the town council hall. Be a public meeting held on Wednesday, January 29th at 8 p.m. at the Community Center for Hall Hockey parents. It would be appreciated if as many parents as possible would attend. This is a very important meeting. On Saturday, February 1st, 1992, there will be a hockey tournament held at the Burgeo Hockey Rink. These games will be played with players of the Burgeo Minor Hockey League competing against their parents or guardians. One parent or guardian per player. This is open to both male and female, and it is all for fun. The times will be posted later. Those interested should contact Ross Ann, Owen Marsden, Glenn Domney, Edie Marsden, or Wanda Melbourne. Well, that concludes tonight's program. Please stay tuned now for the bandwagon. On behalf of BBS and the BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper. Have a great week. Good night.